It is great to be here this evening for the 25th anniversary of Chabad. It's amazing to think, yes, a round of applause. It's amazing to think that my wife and I developed our relationship with Chabad in July of 2001, just before Chabad of Plano's bar mitzvah, and now Chabad of Plano is old enough to rent a car. It's a wonderful, wonderful event. My name is Kyle Ravinsky, and it's an honor and privilege to be the MC of tonight's event. As we were getting ready this afternoon, my wife said to me, "Honey, I really think that tonight is going to be exciting." And she has great premonition, but don't take too much stock in it, because she said the same thing on our wedding night. Thank you. Woo! Anyhow, tonight would not be possible if it weren't for the support of the visionary sponsors of Bernie and Leslie Fiwas. Bernie and Leslie, like always, thank you so much for what you do for Chabad. You make so much available for so many, and we really appreciate it. We also want to take the opportunity to thank the 5 event chairs for this evening: Marla Bushkin, Karen Glanger, Benita Gluckman, Sharona Ohayon, Cheryl Pigeon, and a special thank you goes to who I like to call the point person of Chabad. It's Gloria Stamen. Gloria, she's kind of like, if you've got a problem, she'll solve it. She's just amazing, always resilient with a smile on her face. So it's a very important evening. Chabad of Plano has made it to the silver anniversary, 25 years. I remember back in the early 1990s when I was a relatively young man, and my friends started telling me, "Hey, Kyle, there's this great thing that's going on at the JCC of Dallas now." And I'm like, "Well, what is it?" And they didn't say it was Jewish outreach. They didn't say it was centralized spirituality. They didn't say it was Jewish learning. They said, "There's one night a week that's a great night to go out and meet Jewish girls." That night was put together and sponsored by Rabbi Dubrovsky, and I had the privilege of over 25 years ago making his acquaintance, having some pointed spiritual conversations, and it was Rabbi Dubrovsky's foresight and direction that made it possible for the birth of Chabad of Plano. At this time, I would like to invite Rabbi Dubrovsky to the podium.
Good evening. I would like to take this opportunity first and foremost to wish our very good friends and colleague, Rabbi and Rebbetzin Block, Rabbi and Rebbetzin Horowitz, and all their staff and honorees, I want to wish you a mazel tov. I've mentioned this many times when I speak about Rabbi and Rebbetzin Block. Their success is completely theirs. And in Chabad, as in every good business or organization, you look for a mentor. You look for someone you want to emulate. And traditionally, it's someone older than you. And in my case, very often when I need a mentor, I look to Rabbi Block. He's not older than me. He may have a longer beard, but he's not older than I am. But he is Kenai Nahara, someone that many, many shluchim and many rabbis look up to. His organization, his wisdom. Rabbi Block continuously studies and teaches. So this morning, at the bris of my grandson, thank you very much. Rabbi Block was there, and I said to him, Rabbi Block, there's a few hours left. What do I speak about? So this is what he told me to say. So if I'm here a bit too long, it's his fault. The Alter Rebbe, the first Chabad Rebbe, which all the Chabad houses emanate from his vision, would tell all his Hasidim, he would teach them, as mit darf leben mit der Zeit, it's Yiddish, that one must live with the times. Translation, when asked by his Hasidim, what does that mean? So the Alter Rebbe's Hasidim explained it means that when an event happens in life, you should look to the Torah portion and find its source in spirituality and guidance within the Torah portion of the week. So this Torah portion is Vayikra, correct? It is the first Torah portion of the new book, the third books of the 5 books of Moshe. The world calls it, I think it's based in Latin, Leviticus. We don't. We call it Vayikra. Doesn't mean Leviticus. In fact, it's a strange word to call a book. You know what Vayikra means? And he called, capital H, he. The big boss. God called. Who did he call? Vayikra Hashem, God called Moses. He called him. Now this is very unusual. The most popular verse in the Torah, when God speaks to Moses, is this verse. Vayidaber Hashem al Moshe Lemor, God speaks to Moses saying. And he doesn't say this to the Jews and say that to the Jewish people, the laws of Pesach, the laws of kosher, the laws of Shabbos, the laws, etc., etc. Why did he call him? Where was Moshe? What was the issue here? And then if you're going to have an aliyah this Shabbos, you're going to look, the last letter of the word Vayikra is a tiny little aleph. There are 3 types of fonts in the Torah. Extra large, medium, small. And the last letter of the word Vayikra is small. So in other words, God called Moshe with an emphasis on something small. Well, why did he call him? There are many commentaries who speak to it. The Talmud teaches us that Vayikra, God calling Moses, was a term of endearment. God loved him. He called him. He brought him close to him. Because the last book finishes with a very interesting episode. And with that, I want to conclude my thought. The episode was God commanding Moses for that generation and through that generation for all generations, that a Jew is to build a tabernacle, a dwelling place, a holy place for God. So imagine Moses and the Jewish people spent a long time. There were donations, massive donations. It was the first time in history that Moshe made an appeal. I think the only time in history that Moshe made an appeal, and I wish this blessing on Rabbi Mrs. Block. He made an appeal, and Moshe Rabbeinu had to say, Dayenu, enough. You've given way too much. I don't think Rabbi Block has the problem yet. So they built the tabernacle. The purpose of the tabernacle was that God will finally speak to Moses from this holy place. So imagine they concluded. The construction is done. The entire Jewish people are waiting as to what's going to happen. And suddenly it becomes dark. And a cloud descends onto the tabernacle, and Moshe cannot enter. And he stays away. And through that darkness of the cloud, God calls Moshe and says, now come in. The cloud will rise. Hear my voice, but you have to be a little aleph. Humility, quiet, and then you will hear God's calling. And the Rebbe taught us this is a lesson for generations to come. All of us, we all have the responsibility to build our tabernacle. And then there are distractions. There are clouds, tumult, chaos, noise, and God help us, we know that there are distractions now. And from time to time, God calls upon a Moshe, the Rabbi Blocks of the world and the Rebbetzin Blocks of the world. In their humility and humbleness, he says, now you call everyone together. Tonight, everyone heard that call. You are here. And you are celebrating halfway to forever. Do you know when people say, I've known these people forever? How long is forever? There is a biblical forever, by the way. That's Yovel, a jubilee, 50 years. 25 years is half of that forever. Rabbi Block reached that. And let me tell you the difference between a spiritual forever and halfway to that forever and a physical. When you run half a marathon, you are exhausted. You start slowing down. In spirituality, it's the opposite. As you progress, you become stronger and you become even more lively and even more aggressive, more programming, and you haven't seen anything yet. Rabbi Block and Mrs. Block just reached halfway. So you just wait for the next 25 years. There's so much more to come. And I want to bless them on behalf of my family and all the wonderful people around here, that Hashem should grant them strength, health, simcha, nachas. They should have nachas of their entire community and all their wonderful supporters and honorees. And you should have nachas of the Blocks and the Horowitzes. And let us all say l'chaim, mazel tov. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, boirei pri hagafen. L'chaim.
So I knew that if I told Rabbi Dabrowski and Bela, who's here, that I was going to recognize them, that he might not come. So I didn't tell him. But Rabbi and Bela Dabrowski are the trendsetters, the true trailblazers for the whole DFW area. They're here at Kenai Nahara 33 years. And there is Kenai Nahara 13 Chabad rabbis all over the Metroplex. And Rivki and myself were fortunate to be the first recruits, the first of the 13. So I want to take a moment to thank Rabbi Dabrowski and Bela for their vision, for their selfless leadership, for their mentorship, for their friendship. And I have here a presentation that you can keep on your desk. It reads as follows. All those who faithfully occupy themselves with the needs of the community will be blessed and rewarded by God. Rabbi Mendel and Bela Dabrowski, with gratitude for your vision for the Jews of Plano and your faith in us to carry it forth. Chabad of Plano, Collin County, celebrating 25 years, base Nisan 5777.
Feel like my bar mitzvah.
Ladies and gentlemen, now please welcome Lisa Jenico, Vice Chair of the Board of the Jewish Federation of Greater Dallas.
Good evening. What a wonderful gathering this evening. On behalf of the Jewish Federation of Greater Dallas, it is my sincere pleasure to celebrate 25 years of Jewish life and learning with you tonight. We admire and respect your dedication to encouraging study, commitment, and Jewish pride. Rabbis Block and Horowitz, your families and colleagues at Chabad of Plano, help us learn the knowledge and wisdom of the Torah. And through a committed community like this one, you help us integrate the Torah into our everyday lives. Your community continues to grow together, providing people of every age access to Jewish life and learning, while truly exemplifying your philosophy of loving every Jew, reaching out to every Jew, and educating every Jew. We admire and respect your dedication. The Jewish Federation has a mantra of Fed Proud, finding those things that inspire and motivate our Jewish community. Chabad of Plano is one of those sources of pride. We share the common goal of making our community strong. We wish you much success in all of your endeavors and in your next 25 years. May you go from strength to strength. Thank you, and Mazel Tov.
Congratulations, Chabad of Plano and Collin County, for 25 years in the community. This is a time to reflect, to celebrate, and to be thankful for your growth and impact. And as you reflect back, it is obvious that all the people you've touched celebrate your presence here in Plano as you inspire your members to go out into the world and be better people. Your growth is obvious by the fact that you're no longer just in Plano, you've expanded into Frisco as well. I've experienced inspiration on a personal level. Although Rabbi Block and I grew up in New York at the same time, destiny brought us both here to Plano. The friendship and guidance Rabbi Block has personally offered me is something I truly appreciate. I know the core of Chabad's mission is to do good for the sake of doing good, and Rabbi Block, your friendship has brought goodness to me in my life. And if your motto is one mitzvah, one person, then you've touched this one person. Thank you again for your friendship, and thank you for your spiritual guidance. Best wishes for many more years and continued growth in Plano and Collin County.
My wife Karen and I developed our relationship with Chabad of Plano in July of 2001 as we were looking for our first home in the area. We had just gotten married in March of 2000. We just celebrated our 17th wedding anniversary. And we had an unbelievably fantastic experience with Chabad when we were on our honeymoon in Venice. Two Jews born and raised Dallas, Texas, have to go halfway around the world to have their first introduction to Chabad. And these Chabadniks in Venice took us into their homes, invited us for their Shabbos, helped us complete our Sheva Bruchos, and it opened our eyes to what we would become as members of Chabad. When it came time for us to choose our house, our final decision, Karen looked at me and said, "We're not Shomer Shabbos now, but this house on Anatole is only 2 blocks away from the Chabad of Plano, and if we decide to grow into a Shomer Shabbos lifestyle, we're right there." So I thought it was a beautiful sentiment, and it was with incredible difficulty that we had to leave that home, because you grow out of a home overnight when you have triplets. But we were blessed to pass that home on to another member of the Plano Chabad community. So Chabad works in mysterious ways, and everything has a reason and a purpose. And now my reason and purpose is to introduce Mushki and the rest of the Block children.
Good evening. I'd like to invite my parents, Rabbi and Mrs. Block, to the stage. Mazel tov. I'm just going to take a few minutes to I was supposed to introduce my father. I only found that out recently within the last few minutes. So what I prepared isn't necessarily an introduction, but it'll have to suffice. So when Abraham and Sarah, the forefathers and mothers of our nation, reached their late 90s, they despaired of having a child. The natural world had obviously decreed that their bodies not create a new generation. But the Torah tells us the following verse. God took Abraham outside and said, "Look towards heaven and count the stars, if you can. So shall your offspring be. Ko yihi azaracha." The Medrash teaches that God did not simply take Abraham outside his tent, but lifted him above our entire terrestrial realm, elevating him to the heavens themselves, from where he could look down at the sprawling sea of stars beneath him, and told him, "So shall your offspring be." He was saying to Abraham, essentially, that your current natural understanding of yourself indeed bars you from having children. But that is on earth. I can lift you up to a plane above that reality and impart to you a new reality, one where your descendants will be as numerous and as luminous as the stars of heaven. The word ko, or so, thus shall your offspring be, in this verse, in God's promise to Abraham, has a numerical value of 25. Chaf is 20 and He is 5. 25, then, is a number that speaks to an otherworldly reality, one where we defy expectations, transcend our inherent abilities, one where the facts on the ground don't define us, but the heavenly ones do, where God brings us next to him and shares with us his unlimited capacities. The descendants of the righteous, the sages say, are their good deeds. Your family, Mami and Tati, is both us, your physical children, but also the vibrant community that you create and continue to create. This year, the 25th year of Chabad of Plano's existence, is a time to reflect and thank Hashem for the otherworldly success you have had, the ko, and to pray for a continued shattering of expectations. The Hasidic masters say that we Jews are likened to stars because just as their magnificence and light is so much greater than we can appreciate from our perspective on earth, so does every Jew possess a light that we cannot imagine. In this 25th year, may you both see the light of us, your children, grow and continue to illuminate the lives of those around them, and may you see the light of this beautiful community shine brighter and brighter each day until the coming of Mashiach. Mazel tov.
Beautiful surprise to be introduced by our son, L'chaim. In an effort to better understand his Jewish constituents, the Gentile mayor, who you just heard from, reached out to the local Chabad rabbi and said, "Rabbi, I'd like to understand more about the Shabbos and its laws and its observances. Can I spend the Shabbos in your home?" And the rabbi said, "For sure." And the rabbi made Kiddush on Friday night and a cup of wine. And after the fish, he made l'chaim on some fine scotch. And the main course, he had some Israeli wine. And then the grace after meals, again in a cup of wine. The next morning, after shul, Kiddush on a cup of wine, followed by some herring and some schnapps. Then he goes home to his family, makes Kiddush again, and he has some fish with a single malt with a cholent. And then he does the grace after meals, again in a cup of wine. And then when it got dark, and it came time to make Havdalah, to say goodbye to the Shabbos, again in a cup of wine. And the mayor says to the rabbi, "It was a wonderful Shabbos. I learned so much." And he said, "While I still don't understand why you can't turn the lights off and on Shabbos, I do understand why you can't drive on the Shabbos." So my first l'chaim is to Rivki. Thank you for standing together with me for 25 years, Kenai Nahara, night and day. And in addition to raising our children, which you did mostly by yourself, you still were planning and implementing and teaching and cooking and hosting and whatever it took to plant the seeds of the Chabad of Plano community. To quote the Texas Jewish Post, which had a beautiful spread, which was quoting me, without the warmth and wisdom of Rifki, we wouldn't be what we are today. L'chaim. The next l'chaim is to the children that flew in, two that still live here, Eli and his wife Sarah, Mushki, and her husband Rabbi Mendy, Nassan and Zalman, Chana, Shalom, Chana Shmuli, Nechama Basi Dvorah. L'chaim for all the sacrifices that you have given in many different ways. So much of the weekend and other regular bedtimes that parents usually spend with their children, you didn't get because I wasn't there. Almost every Shabbos, you encouraged the guests to sit up closer to the front, while you sat at the back of the table. And years ago when we came, we were the only Hasidic family. You didn't have any other friends that were of similar background. But with Hashem's blessings, and as a reward for your sacrifices, you have benefited from being raised in such a warm community, and you are all much, much stronger for it. Mommy and I are proud of you, and may each one of you grow to a life of great success and atzlacha. L'chaim. So when Rivki and I were just married, we were living in an apartment in Crown Heights. I was looking for a place to open a Chabad house, and I got a call from Rabbi Dabrowski. He said that I'm looking to open a branch in Plano. Maybe you'd come down for a Shabbos. We'll visit, we'll talk. And so on February 29th, 1992, Shabbos Parshas Vayakhel, Rivki and I and one-year-old Ellie came to Dallas to spend a Shabbos with the Dabrowskis. Zalman, who is now married and teaches at Akiba, was sitting in the little swing. And we drove around Plano. There was no rabbi and rebbitzin that lived in the community. We met a few people. We spent some time together. We envisioned what might possibly be the future of the Plano Jewish community. And as we spent this beautiful Shabbos here in Plano, the Rebbe back in 770 was having a farbrengen, a gathering where he would teach Torah to the world, to the Chassidim. And that particular day, he dwelled on last week's Torah portion, Vayakhel. And he explained and he said that Vayakhel usually is paired with another portion called Pekudei, as we read them together last week in the synagogue. In each one of these names, conflict with each other. Vayakhel, he explained, means and he assembled. It relates to the word kihila, a community. Moshe assembled the community. Pekudei means the counted things. It was an audit of the sanctuary's components. The emphasis on the item within the whole, the individual within the community. In other words, Vayakhel and Pekudei express the contrasting values of community versus individuality, and the need to unite the two, to build a community that fosters rather than suppresses the individuality of its members, and to cultivate an individuality that contributes to, rather than conflicts with, the communal whole. But then the Rebbe asked the question, if this is the case, why does the portion Vayakhel, the portion of the community, come before the Pekudei, the individual? Don't we first need to develop and perfect the individual before hoping to make healthy communities out of him and his fellows? To build a brick wall, you need bricks. To make a watch, you need gears, springs, and balanced wheels. To create a community, you need people. You can't build a lasting building out of half-baked bricks. You can't assemble an accurate timepiece unless each component has been finely honed. Nor would it seem, the Rebbe said on that Shabbos, how can you put together a perfect community from imperfect people? But this, the Rebbe explained, is the Torah's very point. Make communities even before you have perfect individuals. Vayakel, community before Pikude, before the individual. People are not bricks. People are not gears. People are souls, neshamas, with the potential for perfection implicit within them. And nothing brings out the soul's potential as much as interacting and uniting with other souls. Imperfect individuals brought together in love and fellowship makes for the perfect community. On Monday afternoon, we flew back to New York. And when we landed, we found out that the Rebbe had suffered a stroke, paralyzing his right side, robbing him of his ability to speak. And there was no Farbrengen on the following Shabbos, nor on the Shabbos after that. And in the summer of 1994, the Rebbe's soul ascended on high. The Rebbe had spoken thousands of hours over more than 40 years of leadership. And Rivki and I had missed the last talk. But tonight, we can look back and we can say that on the other hand, as the Rebbe was speaking of making communities, we were here in Plano starting one. So l'chaim, to the past 25 years, that constructed this awesome community with the Rebbe's constant blessings and guidance. L'chaim. L'chaim to the next 25 years and beyond as we build and grow and expand on the foundation that we have. L'chaim. And most importantly, l'chaim to each and every one of you who has given with nediv leiv, with true generosity of heart, each one as an individual in your own unique way. L'chaim to all of you. And l'chaim to the ultimate global community, the gathering, the assembling of the Jewish people. Be'arba kanfei sa'aretz, from the four corners of the earth, with the coming of the Mashiach, speedily in our times. Amen. L'chaim.
L'chaim. We'd like to now recognize and pay tribute to tonight's honorees. Shiri and Roby Gorfinkel are serious Shul people. They can be found in Shul almost every Shabbos, and the delicious weekly Shabbos Kiddush is courtesy of Shiri's delectable cooking. In addition, Roby and Shiri have recently sponsored the Chabad of Plano Kids Show, which excites and engages the kids every Shabbos. Please welcome Shiri and Roby Gorfinkel, tonight's honoree, representing Chabad of Plano's Shul. Faina and Oren Zabeda recently celebrated the bar mitzvah of their twin boys, and in June, the boys will have graduated Hebrew school with the distinction of being here almost every Sunday from kindergarten and on. But perhaps more importantly, their son Noam is about to finish kindergarten class in Chabad Hebrew School, which means that we will have the pleasure of the Zabeda family in Hebrew School for at least another 8 years. Please welcome Dr. Oren and Faina Zabeda, tonight's honoree representing Chabad of Plano's Hebrew School. Dr. Scott Katz is a busy pediatrician, but that hasn't stopped him from making Torah learning a priority over the past years. Scott has spent hundreds of hours studying at the JLI, the Tefillin Club, Torah and Brews, which is studying and L'chaims. So please welcome Dr. Scott Katz, tonight's honoree representing Chabad of Plano's Jewish Learning Institute and Adult Education Programs. Karen and Kyle Ravinsky's 3 boys are die-hard Camp Gan Izzy fans. They're 8 years old, which means they only have about 4 more years of Camp Gan Izzy. But if it was up to them, they would stay for another 40 years. Please welcome Karen and Kyle Ravinsky, tonight's honorees representing Chabad of Plano's Camp Gan Israel. Sharona and Jesse Ohayon moved here a few years ago, but they dove right into becoming active members of our community. In fact, much of the behind the scenes of what you see here tonight is due to Sharona's efforts. And they enrolled their daughter, Michaela, in the wonderful preschool Gan Gani here at Chabad. And now their younger daughter, Olivia, is in the 2-year-old class with my daughter, Shayna. Yetta, that is. Please welcome Sharona and Jesse Ohayon, tonight's honoree representing Chabad of Plano's Gan Gani Preschool. We're now going to ask Sharona to say a few words on behalf of all the honorees.
Thank you, Rabbi Horowitz. Okay. I want to take this opportunity to thank Chabad on behalf of myself and Jesse and all of tonight's honorees. Chabad of Plano, Rabbi and Rifki Block, Rabbi and Esther Horowitz have created something truly special here over the past 25 years. And I couldn't help but think of the first prayer that we say each day upon entering the synagogue. Ma Tovu, O the goodly. It is a prayer expressing reverence and awe for the house of worship. Ma Tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkanotecha Yisrael. O goodly are your tents, O Jacob, your dwelling place, O Israel. It continues, O Lord, through your abundant grace I enter your house to worship you with awe. I love the house where you dwell in the place of your glory tabernacles. In the short prayer, there are 3 Hebrew words that speak to the idea of dwelling. Ohalecha, your tents, Mishkanotecha, your tabernacles, the portable sanctuary used by the Jews in the desert, and Beitecha, your homes. To me, and to many of us here tonight, this prayer rings true, as Chabad of Plano is an ohel, a tent, where people come together to learn Torah and grow. It is a mishkan, a sanctuary where people come to meet Hashem, to speak to God, to connect, to give thanks, and to pray. It is a bayit, a home, an extension of our individual houses where we can continue to raise our children within the walls of Torah, Judaism, and a caring Jewish community. So tonight, on behalf of all of us here on this stage, I want to wish the entire Chabad of Plano community a mazal tov on reaching this wonderful milestone, and a heartfelt thank you for being our ohel, our mishkan, and our bayit. We hope the next 25 years prove to be as fruitful and as meaningful as the first.
Now to introduce a man who's a great friend to Chabad and a great friend to many individuals who are in this room. He also happens to be significant in the life of my wife and myself because as president of the Collin County Community Colleges, he signed my wife's first diploma. So with no further ado, Carrie Israel.
Thank you. It's good to see all of you. Can you hear me in the back? Mic on? Can you hear it? Can you hear me in the back? Good to see all of you. I'm glad I didn't know I signed it. It's fake. Anyway, I have only 11 minutes. That's all I have. Because it's not Chabad time. We're going to do 11 minutes. So everyone, you've been sitting, go like this. Come on. Raise your hands. Come on, go like this. Okay, so then I know you can all bid. Okay. So we have a wonderful Torah that has been donated. And you see a picture. I've never seen a Torah like. Anyone ever seen a Torah like this? Oh, yes. Vanna. Oh, no. This is a small version of the Torah. It will be outside, hanging up in the hallway. It is more than an art. It is a learning tool for children and for adults. Has anyone ever seen anything like this? Okay, so it's from Israel, and it's been donated by Gail and Harvey Wine in honor of 25 years of Chabad. Where's Gail and Harvey? Where's Gail and Harvey? Stand up, please. Come on, stand up. They donated this Torah for the 25 years, but also, it's their 50th wedding anniversary. Mazel tov. Let's say it. Mazel tov. Okay, so my job is, I retired from the college. I raised a lot of money. Well, the rabbi called me up. I flew in from Illinois last night. It was wonderful up there. Anyway, I'm glad I got here. So I'm going to be auctioning off the 5 books of the Torah, Moses. And for those that want to, bid on the book of Esther, sorry, it's not in there. Okay? I can see some of you have to go to JLI classes to get that joke. But I only have to auction off 2 because Bernie and Leslie Fiwis, where are you? Please stand up, be recognized. They bought a book already. Thank you. I bought a book already. Okay. And an anonymous person, and boy, do I like her. Oh, it's anonymous. Anonymous person. Boy, she's a beautiful person. I know who you are. Anyway, she bought a book. So, yeah, you got to give them a hand. So I only have to sell 2 books, and I'm going to start it off $3,000 for a book, $3,000, 2 for $5,999. But someone's got, listen, what you're going to get, besides the honor of having a book for your family, for yourselves, for whoever you'd like to donate it, there's going to be the first part of the book, and the artist is going to sign it, and you will be given this. You can frame it however you want it. We didn't know what kind of frame you wanted to put on it. I know what I'm going to frame it with. And it will be in the hallway forever. And every month I'll go into some other thing. So this is what you're going to get, but it's really more important than that. It's an educational tool for the children. That's how it's going to be used, and for adults. It's a work of art. I've never seen it. Someone's got to buy 1 book for $3,000. Someone's got to raise their hand. $3,000. Someone with money has to raise their hand for $3,000. There's not anyone for $3,000. For what? Thank you very much, Gary. We've got 4 books. Thank you. And the 5th book was bought anonymously from another beautiful person. That is great. We sold all. Listen, congratulations to all of you, all the books. That is absolutely fantastic.
Make it short. Time shared by every human being on the planet, with social media or otherwise. But Rabbi Block has taught us time is precious. You take that time to study Torah, it is meaningful. My wife and I would like to thank you for taking your precious time to share in the simchas of this evening. It is our hope, Lador Vador, with Torah and time in infinity with Hashem's blessings. Thank you and enjoy the evening.
Thank you and well stated. Now it's time for the entertainment for the evening. You may have heard of Ethan Bortnick before. Currently, he has the #1 rated PBS special running. He has sold out 50 to 60 concerts internationally, in addition to the special events that he holds, like the one he's performing this evening. He is the youngest voting member on the Grammys. So when you think who holds Puff Daddy's future in his 16-year-old hands, it's Ethan Bortnick, ladies and gentlemen. The piano stylings of Ethan Bortnick.
I thought love was only true in fairy tale, meant for someone else but not for me. Love was out to get me, but that's the way it seemed. Disappointment haunted all my dreams. Come on. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Yeah, not a trace of doubt in my mind. Well, I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. I thought love was more or less a given thing, but the more I gave, the less I got. What's the use in trying? All you get is pain. When I wanted sunshine, I got rain. But then I saw her face. Come on, now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. Well, I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. Come on. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. Well, I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. Thank you.
So how are you guys doing tonight? All right. Not bad. But here's the thing. We're celebrating the 25th anniversary of Chabad of Plano. Okay. So that's pretty incredible. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to try that over. And this time you guys are going to be super loud. Is that cool? All right, here we go. How's everybody doing tonight? All right. Well, first of all, I just wanted to say thank you for inviting me. I've been lucky to perform at a lot of Chabads, and I've also been able to do a lot of shows. But whenever Chabad calls, I'm always here. And I wanted to thank Rabbi Block for having me here. So thank you guys so much. Absolutely. Now, tonight, I really want to show you a little bit about the power of music. You know, I think it's amazing what music can do to affect people in so many different ways. I think, you know, music can make you laugh and sing and dance and cry and hug. And there's so many things that music really affects people with. And I want to show you a little bit about how powerful music is. Now, for my next song, this is actually a song that I wrote. And I wanted to play this song because it's really appropriate with what Chabad and Chabad of Plano really does and their mission. And that is that no matter who you are or what situation you're in, Chabad is always here to take you in with open arms and have you sort of give you hope that anything is possible. And that is what this song is about, because I really do believe that anything is possible.
When you get weak and shadows find you, when cold winds blow against your back, when valleys wide stretch out forever and loneliness is all you have, believe in yourself and anything is possible. Believe in yourself, don't worry about a thing. Believe in yourself and suddenly everything is magical. Believe in yourself and anything is possible. When your heart breaks and no one hears it, when clouds roll in and times get hard, when you wanna fly but you're scared your wings won't hold you, if you'll just jump you might catch a star. Believe in yourself and anything is possible. Believe in yourself and don't worry about a thing. Believe in yourself and suddenly everything is magical. Believe in yourself and anything is possible. And anything is possible. Thank you. Thank you. Adon Olam, Hashem Elah, B'terem kol, Yitzir Nivra, En Asa, V'chefso kol, Azayin Melech, Shemo Nikra, Ve'acharei, Kiflot HaKol, לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא עובר והוא יהיה בתפארה אדון עולם השם הלך בטרם כה יצירה מסע ואפסו כל הזין מלך שמו נקרא ואחרי כבלת הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא יהיה בתפארה ואחרי כבלת הכל לבדו ימלוך נורא והוא היה והוא בתפארה והוא היה והוא בתפארה והוא יהיה בתפארה. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now, for my next song, I wanted to really quickly tell a story. How many of you guys here know of the group Peter, Paul, and Mary? All right, so a good portion. Well, about 2.5 years ago, I was able to have met Peter Yarrow from Peter, Paul, and Mary. As you might know, Peter's an incredible musician and also Jewish, which is awesome. But Peter and I, the first time we performed together, he was kind of jamming and I was playing some songs along with him. And the last song he played, he asked me to add to my repertoire because the song itself has such a special meaning. And that is exactly why I want to play it for you guys tonight. So I hope you enjoy it. How many roads must a man walk down before you can call him a man? How many seas must a white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? How many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many years can a mountain exist before it is washed in the sea. How many years can some people exist before they're allowed to be free? How many times can a man turn his head and pretend that he just doesn't see? Everybody, the answer, my friends, come on. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many times must a man look up before he can see the sky? How many ears must one man have before he can hear people cry? How many deaths will it take till he knows that too many people have died? Come on. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. One more time. The answer, my friends, come on. The answer is blowing in the wind. Thank you. Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars. Let me see what spring is like on Jupiter and Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, baby, kiss me. Fill my heart with song, let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. Oh, in other words, I love you. Fill more. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, in other words, in other words, I love you. Thank you.
All right. Well, what I'd like to do next is I want to show you guys how I compose music. Now, in order to do that, I'm going to need one volunteer. And before you raise your hand, let me just tell you what you're going to do first. Okay. So what I'm going to have you do is you're going to come up here and you're going to play me your ringtone on your cell phone. Okay? So, well, give me 1 second. So, what I'm going to have you do is you're going to play me your ringtone on your cell phone, and I'm going to copy it onto the piano, and then based off that ringtone, compose an instrumental piece. Now, there are a few rules. Number one, you got to know how to use your cell phone. The fact that people are laughing is not a good sign. Rule number two, the ringtone cannot be a song. So it can't be a song, because if it's a song, I'm done. And rule number three, the ringtone has to be a musical ringtone. So it can't be like a chicken, a dog, a motorcycle, a train, a person laughing, things like that. So yeah, if you heard what I said and you want to help me out and write a song, just go ahead and raise your hand, and yeah. Yeah? All right. Awesome. Yeah. Do you have your phone with you? Oh, yeah. Okay, cool. Hi there. Nice to meet you.
My God.
What's your name?
Anatoly.
Anatoly. Nice to meet you. All right. So, do you want to go ahead and play us your ringtone? Okay. And if you want, you can go ahead and play it over here so everybody can hear your ringtone. No problem.
That's the part of knowing you for yourself. The mic is on. You want me to go?
Oh, there it is. All right.
One more?
Yep. Oh, no. I'm just play. Yeah, there it is. All right.
Love it, love it.
Yeah, I mean, you chose it.
I stole it from Apple.
One more time.
I will start to charge you.
Yeah, I think I'm good. Awesome. Okay. Totally, right? Okay. Wait. Stay. Yeah, sit down, grab a chair. Okay, so now that we got the ringtone down, we got to come up with a name for the song. All right, we're getting some really original. Oh, you actually did. Okay. No, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, so. Oh yeah, this is fun. This is Anatoly's song. Here we go.
The song of my nation.
Okay, this is the song of my nation. And it goes something like this. Thank you very much. Oh, and yeah, awesome. So that was called Song of My Nation. So for my next song, I wanted to play another song that I wrote, but this is a song that I wanted to dedicate to the honorees tonight. I think, I read a lot about what you guys do, and this next song is really about giving back, and clearly all our honorees tonight know a lot about giving back and doing good deeds and making people's day happier. And no matter if it's, donating money or volunteering or whatever you do, I think it's incredible. And you guys are exactly why I wrote this song, because this song is about it doesn't have to be a whole mission to give back to people. You can give someone a hug or high five someone or smile to somebody, because those are all things that you never know if it can change their life. And they can all happen in 2 seconds. And that is what this song is called. This is 2 seconds. Could you imagine what 2 seconds could do? You can turn someone around when they're down. Could you imagine if you were given that one chance to turn what's lost into something found? Why not now? It's all up to you. What would you do? Would you smile when you get the chance to smile? And shine when you get the chance to shine, like the sun cutting right through the rain. Let them hear your voice. Only you can make that choice, instead of stop and see it through and see what 2 seconds can do. Could you imagine opening your heart and letting love find a way inside? Maybe you'll fly. Oh, could you imagine holding out your hand? Let your dream come right to you and make it come true. Make a yes out of a no and see how far you can go. If you smile when you get the chance to smile, and shine when you get the chance to shine, like the sun cutting right through the rain. Let them hear your voice. Only you can make that choice, instead of stop and see it through and see what 2 seconds can do. Look up
stand tall, rise up through it all. Be the hero of somebody else. Be the change, and you're fine. You can change the world 2 seconds at a time. From just one smile, when you get the chance to smile. And shine when you get the chance to shine, like the sun cutting right through the rain. Let him hear your voice. Only you can make that choice. Instead of stopping, see it through, and see what 2 seconds can do. Could you imagine? Thank you. Thank you. This next song I'd like to dedicate to all the Yiddish mamas out there. Of things I should be thankful for, I've had a goodly share. And as I sit here in the comfort of a cozy chair, my fancy takes me to a humble East Side tenement. 3 flights up in the rear, to where my childhood days were spent. It wasn't much like paradise, but it's the dirt and all. There sat the sweetest angel, one that I finally call my Yiddish mama. Es gibt die Beste in der Welt. My Yiddish mama, my Baby bitte, wenn sie fällt. Wie schön und lichtig ist ein Kreuz, wenn ihn Mamas du. Wie treuig finster, es fällt, wenn Gott, wenn ihr euch von am Habur und fast to the fire, wollt sie gelaufen, feier Kinder, mit hart und ihr Teier, doch sie ist gewiss die größte Sinn. Oi, wie glücklich und ihr Rat, als der Mensch Fuß hat, als ein schön Amatun, ein Geschenk von Gott. We never Yiddish mama, oh mama, oh my. Thank you. באמונה של אמור בביאס המשיח אני מאמין אני מאמין באמונה של אמור בביאס המשיח אני מאמין משיח 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 איי 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 פשיס מזרח וגוזח הכלוי וחושע בוי פשיס מזרח וגוזח הכלוי וחושע בוי הושע בוי הושע בוי הושע בוי הושע בוי אני מאמין באמונה של אמור בביאס המשיח אני מאמין אני מאמין באמונה של אמור בביאס המשיח אני מאמין משיח 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 איי 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 come on Mashiach, 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 ay 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 ay, Mashiach, 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 ay 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 ay. Thank you. Join me on this one. Where it began, I can't begin to know it, but then I know it's growing strong. Was in the spring, then spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd all come along? Sing it! Touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Go on, sweet Carolines. Good times never seem so good. I'd be inclined to believe they never would, but now I look at the night and it don't seem so lonely. We filled it up with only two. And when I hurt, hurting runs off my shoulder. How can I hurt when I'm holding you? One, touching one, reaching out, touching me, sing it, touching you. Here we go, sweet Caroline. Good times never seem so good. I'd be inclined to believe they never would. One more time. Sweet Caroline. Good times never seem so good. I'd be inclined to believe they never would. Oh.
Thank you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, Ethan.
You can get his CD for sale outside the room.
What a fantastic evening. Ethan, thank you so much again. Ethan Bortnick. How great was that? Everybody, thank you so much for being here. What a wonderful occasion for the 25th anniversary of Chabad. We've only got 1,050 Shabboses until the 50th anniversary. We expect to see this room just as full every Shabbos between now and the 50th anniversary. Thanks so much for being here. Good night, everybody.